Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're in the back sun porch getting ready to make a wreath for our chicken coop, and I just wanted to show you the process. We have done several wreath videos in the past, but I realized that some of you may be new to our channel this year and maybe you haven't seen us do a wreath before. So I just want to walk through the process with you. I have gathered up some of the most gorgeous things. I've been really craving just natural elements this year. So anyway, I want to run through some of the stuff that I'm going to be using, a lot of which, so I want to talk about where you can find stuff like this. First of all, your own garden. If you've got juniper, pine, spruce, arborvitae, all kinds of stuff like that, anything with berries like winterberry hollies, you can cut just a small amount and create something really beautiful. You can source stuff at your local garden center or even like a Christmas tree lot where they cut off the bottom branches. My parents do that at their garden center. They carry cut Christmas trees. And so they've got just a big pile of branches sitting out there, and most places give them away for free. There's pine right here, which we have a big pine tree out in our yard, a couple of them. This here is magnolia. I did have to source this through our local floral supplier because we cannot grow this type of magnolia in our area. We're too cold, as well as the seeded eucalyptus right here. Look at this. Look at that texture. And typically you can get these just by the bundle from a floral supplier or from your local florist. Winterberry holly right here, this is called Berry Heavy Gold. I've used it actually in containers I can see right outside the back sun porch right now, and it's beautiful. I didn't realize I had some left over out in the barn, so probably be incorporating that. We've got some seed heads here that my mom and I gathered up in the hills, pine cones from beneath my blue spruce tree. I went and got some cinnamon sticks. I've actually had these in my Christmas box for a long time. And then I dried some oranges last night. So to dry these, I just cut them real thin and put them on a non-stick mat and put them in a 200-degree oven, and it took like 3 hours to dry them. And you would think that that made the house smell good, but drying oranges actually doesn't, I don't think it smells that good. So anyway, yeah, check your local garden center, local florist, your own garden, and really you can come up with some pretty stuff. And then in terms of other supplies that you need, wreath form right here. My parents' garden center carries these. You can get them at craft stores. This is an 18-inch form right here, and these can be saved and reused from year to year. I've got paddle wire here. This is 22 gauge, I think. Yeah, 22 gauge. You just want to make sure you have plenty of it. Not good to run out right in the middle of a project. Of course, my pruners here, and then I am going to try to wire a candle in. So this is a battery operated one. Let me see. Yeah, battery operated, and I thought, oh, it would be so cute on the chicken coop if I could get that to work. So we'll see how that goes in the end. And then I also do have some lotus pods here, which I may or may not use with the pine cones. I'm not sure. So I'm going to walk you guys through the first couple of steps here, and then we'll probably speed it up until I get to the very end, and then I'll show you how I end it. So the first thing you do is you grab your paddle wire, unwheel a little bit of it, and then you just want to wrap it around your wreath form, just anywhere, it doesn't really matter. I tend to work right here, I'm right-handed, so this seems really comfortable to me. And then you'll take your paddle, wrap it around 2 or 3 times, and just make sure it's secure on there. So after you secure it the very first time, you will not cut it off. Like, it'll be one continuous piece of wire all the way around until you're ready to end the wreath. So just keep that in mind. You never want to cut the wire. And then you start creating bundles. So to do that, like, let's see, I was kind of thinking I was going to utilize like a little, let's see, like this one here, a bundle of magnolia. I kind of like this, how it shows green and brown. And then, let's see, I was thinking like a piece of seeded eucalyptus in here. And you want to keep in mind, however big you create your bundles, that's how big and wide your wreath will be. So if you make massive bundles, you'll end up without a center circle. So keep that in mind. Just kind of be a little bit conservative. A little piece of pine. Let's see, I want to do a grass seed head in here. Look how pretty all of that texture is. And then I did not get my winterberry ready. I should have, but let me see if I can cut a piece off. I don't have that much of the winterberry, so I want to make sure to not use, like, kind of try to get it even. So right there, that's my first bundle. So what you do is you lay it right on top of where that wire is attached. Whoops. And then we are going to just swing the wire around it 2 or 3 times, pulling really tightly each time. Because as this stuff dries out and desiccates a little bit, it will shrink up. So if your wire isn't tight, stuff will start to fall out of it, especially if you've got it in a windy spot. Okay, So that first bundle is done. So now we want to create kind of a similar bundle. Let me do that really quick. We've got our magnolia, eucalyptus. See, I'm going to use this piece of, this is fir. I think I said it was spruce, it's fir. Let's do another piece of grass and pine, just kind of like that right there. I think I'll use winterberry every other bundle. So the next bundle you kind of set down overlapping your first bundle, but you want to tip it in toward the inside of the wreath, kind of like this. Then you take your wire, wrap it around really tightly. Okay, so that's 2 bundles. Your next one that you do, which I think at this point will probably speed it up, I'm going to tip it toward the outside of the wreath, then I'll do one in center, inside, outside, center, inside, outside, if that makes sense, just slightly overlapping them until we reach the end, and then I will show you how to finish it off. And then in the very end is when we'll add all of our fun stuff, like I'll wire in some oranges and pine cones and the cinnamon sticks at that point. Oh, Russell, what are you doing, bud? Was he back there the whole time? He's outside because he was in the Christmas tree this morning. You were being naughty. Naughty kitty. Okay, here we go. Almost done with my wreath. You can see where I stopped right here. There's the gap, and sometimes you can just, if you don't want to mess with it because it is a little fussy at this part, you can just like tie off, you know, cut your wire and wrap it around really tight and then put a big bow right there, put your wreath hanger right there. But if you want to finish it off, let me show you what you do. Let me create one more bundle, and I'm going to try to do kind of a thick one because this is a thick spot. Let me get my pine. I've got my fir, my pine, my magnolia here. One more piece of seeded euc and some. These have been awesome. Don't they look so good in this wreath? I love it. Okay, so then what you do is I'm going to trim this up a bit. It's all kind of even. Then you just lift up your first bundle slightly and tuck this one under like that. And then you'll gently take your wire around and kind of feed it around any branches that might be in your way. And you'll do the same thing, you know, twist your wire around 2 or 3 times. And you might have to do this a couple of times based on how big of a space you have left. So you can see, like, after I kind of fluff this bundle out, I still have a little bit of a space, so we're going to do a little bit more. This is kind of a perfect piece because check this out. If you were to tuck this under, it pretty much fills the gap. So what I'm going to do is individually wire this piece in because it fits perfect. And then I'll do a little bit more fluff in there. And then we're going to put our fun stuff in. And I actually had Aaron, I asked him if he could go get my hot glue gun. We're going to use a little bit of hot glue, a little bit of wire, and probably a little bit of twine for the rest of this. So look at how good that already looks right there. So you can grab some more fluffy stuff if you want. Tuck it in so it kind of matches the rest of your wreath. And then just continue to wire. So at least from my angle, it's looking pretty full. You can always fill in gaps here and there if you want to. You can tuck more greens in with some hot glue or extra wire. But I'm gonna cut a wire tail here, just like, I don't know, is that a foot, a little over a foot long. And then I'm gonna bring it around one more time. Then we're gonna flip the wreath gently over like this. And we're just going to wire it off to the back. Look at my hands, they're full of sap. Okay, so we'll just find an open spot here and you just wire it around until you are left with no more wire. It's really simple. So that's looking pretty nice. You really won't see any uneven spots until you hang it up, which honestly, like, it doesn't really matter. The handcrafted wreaths, if they're a little bit wonky, it's actually a little bit charming. So now we're gonna go in with our dried oranges, and so look at this. I'm just gonna kind of lay things out how I think I wanna put them. Look at how much color that brings right there. I'm probably just gonna hot glue these in, but I'm gonna set everything, let me set them all out first because I want it to be fairly even. I am really pleased with the dimension that this wreath has because I think of all the brown in it, honestly. Like, you can see both sides of the magnolia leaves. The seed pods here are just gorgeous. And then I'm going to be adding in, I'm not sure if I'm going to use lotus pods. Like, I'm a little bit on the fence about those anyway, but for sure we'll be putting some pine cones in here. Before I glue anything down though, I'm going to place the rest. So pine cones here, I'm just going to kind of tuck them where I think they'll look pretty. I don't know, there's kind of no rhyme or reason. Like, right in there is pretty. Probably run. Great gap filler. If you like have an empty spot that you accidentally maybe didn't make your bundle big enough, just pop a pine cone in there and you're good to go. So see, the lotus pods, like they're pretty, but they're so bold that they really attract your eye. And I know that this like shape kind of triggers some people, the way that looks. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And then we'll put our cinnamon stick bundles in there, which I need to tie a few more. So I'm just gonna use the twine here to do that really fast. So I'm doing 3 cinnamon sticks in a bundle. They smell amazing. Erin, should we hire a hand model? We need a hand model. Okay, so that one will go here. So I've got everything placed. What I ended up using in total was 10 slices of orange. There are 5 groupings of 2, I think spread fairly equally. And then I did 5 little bundles of cinnamon sticks, and I think there are 5 pine cones in here total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just popped them in areas where they looked like I could fill in a gap, or it needed a little extra texture. So this part, you guys, is really straightforward. I'm just gonna load them up with hot glue and then just light them right into place like that. And I'll know if I need to add any extra hot glue once I hang it up, and I kind of like shake the wreath just a little bit, especially if it's gonna be in a windy spot, so I can secure anything that's loose down. At this point as well, I'll take any leaves that are like this is an unruly leaf, I'll put a little dab of hot glue there and just kind of hold it over so that it stays a nice shape. So after I get all that done, we'll tackle the candle. Here we go. So I moved it to a door. This is not the door it's going on, obviously, but I just wanted to just make sure that I didn't have any gaping holes or anything, or nothing was too loose while we were still inside and relatively warm. Everything looks really good. I did glue in like a couple extra seed pods in areas where I thought it could use it, but overall, I'm really happy with this whole thing. Like, I think it could be done at this point. Doesn't even need a bow, but I think that this is going to kind of take it over the top. So the only thing that kind of worries me is that this is not on a battery, or not on a timer. So I do not know how long the batteries are gonna last. So I've got to make sure to not get any hot glue. Well, I guess it probably wouldn't matter. Hot glue is pretty easy to peel off. So either way, we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna load up. Now I'm just gonna stand here and wait until it is dry, like dry. Oh, look, it's staying straight. Is that candle big enough though? Do you think that candle's big enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you saying that because you just want me to be done with it?
No, I think it looks good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Should we test out another one just in case? Yeah, I think that my gut is telling me that this one is too little. Also, the beauty of this is that this one is on a timer. So what I'll do is I'll unscrew this top. It's got the batteries in it. And tonight, like at 4:45, 5-ish, when it's starting to get dark outside, you just go turn it on, and then every night it'll turn on for 6 hours. I think that candle looks a lot more size appropriate. So now we're gonna take it out to the chicken coop to see how it looks. Okay, so other than my door needing to be cleaned a little bit, the wreath is absolutely perfect. The size is great. I think the colors are really nice, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy seeing that on this door for the rest of the season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful just seeing the process on making a wreath again, you know, every single year. It's fun to just try out a little bit of a different design. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.